chills, all see is gray. Drowning in the monotony, no escape today. But I need a haircut, break the static's hold. Losing nuggets, tiny bites, the story is told. Say goodbye to boredom, headlines made of gold. Twist and shake perspectives in a way so bold. They serve it up with humor with a snarky twist. Little bites and news to fill your daily list.
Hello, everyone. It is Mo from Mo in the Deep End, and these are your Newsy News Nuggets for the afternoon of August the 6th, 2024. Well, I guess they were right. It really does hurt to think. I guess I will have to let my boys out of homework if they say my brain hurts. Mental exertion leads to irritation, frustration, and other negative feelings in many situations, supporting the concept that it hurts to think, according to new research published by the American Psychological Association. This might be Sarah Boone's problem. It just hurts so doggone much to make sense. The study conducted by Radboud University in the Netherlands appeared Monday in the association's monthly journal, Psychological Bulletin. Managers and educators frequently encourage individuals to exert mental effort, prompting them to choose mentally challenging activities. While this may indicate that people enjoy thinking hard, the new study suggests the opposite. Well, to be fair, if you gave me a bunch of trigonometry problems for self-improvement, I'd rather do naked burpees in Walmart. So I kind of get the point. Although my goal this year is to do one burpee. Not in Walmart and not nude. Sorry to bust everyone's dreams and or nightmares. Now, the new study suggests the opposite. Senior author Eric Blilveld, a psychologist and associate professor at Radboud University, told UPI in an email. So it is useful to realize that when it is necessary to ask people to exert substantial mental effort, it is best to support or reward them. He pointed out that there's a long-standing controversy in psychology about mental effort. Many psychologists assume that people avoid mental effort whenever they can. They take, quote, mental shortcuts, like going with their gut feeling when making a decision about something, say about which restaurant to go to, rather than to weigh all the relevant pieces of information, which is a lot of work. Well, generally, as a lady, I can tell you that I never want to go to the Chinese buffet because buffets and a bunch of people touching your food. But I generally know what I want to eat. So I'm okay with using shortcuts and just saying chips, salsa, margarita, please. Earlier studies indicate that people can choose between two activities. They're more likely to opt for the one that requires less effort, he noted. Adding, in short, we know generally people prefer the path of least resistance, also mentally. So it may well be true that people dislike mental effort. It was also added, on the other hand, psychologists also assume that people can easily learn associations between mental effort and rewards. He cited an example of students receiving compliments in schools and university after they exerted mental effort. So in life, there are plenty of opportunities to learn that mental effort is linked to reward, he said. If this is true, people may well be able to learn to enjoy mental effort. To address this issue, Belveld and his collaborators decided to summarize and analyze a large amount of previous data on people who exerted mental effort. They performed meta-analysis of 170 studies published between 2019 and 2020, consisting of 4,670 participants to examine how people generally experience mental effort. A meta-analysis is a method for combining data from multiple studies to develop a single conclusion that has more statistical power. The research team tested whether mental effort is associated with unpleasant feelings and whether that link depends on the task or population involved. These studies involved a variety of participants, for instance, healthcare workers, military employees, amateur athletes, and college students from 29 different countries. The research team collected data from 358 different cognitive tasks, learning a new technology, hard pass please, finding one's way around an unfamiliar environment. Oh, another thing I'm terrible at. Don't follow me for directions. It will be Moe's Donner Party all over again. Just don't. Practicing golf swings or playing virtual reality games, to name a few. In all the studies that the researchers analyzed, participants reported the level of effort they exerted and to the extent they had unpleasant feelings such as frustration, irritation, stress, or annoyance. I would score high on the stress and annoyance with learning new technology and directions. Now, give me a crafty thing to do. If I have to put together a thing of Legos, not terrible, as long as there's good instructions. Something from IKEA, right back to Rajo. Not because I don't like IKEA, but because I end up putting at least 2 pieces on backwards or wrong ways, and then Mr. Mo gives me that look like, "Oh, you tried." And I'm like, "Dang it." Across all populations and tasks, the more significant the mental effort, the higher the unpleasantness that participants experienced. The most striking finding that was that mental effort feels unpleasant in such wide range of settings and contexts. We were really looking hard for possible exceptions. Maybe effort feels nice just in some tasks or for some people, but we found no compelling evidence for this. However, it was noted that mental effort seemed to feel slightly less unpleasant in Asian populations compared to their North American and European counterparts. This finding is intriguing, he said. It could be explained by differences in school systems. Most of the data from Asia in our study was from China and Japan, and in those countries, adolescents and children do spend comparatively a lot of time on schoolwork. As a result, exposure to mental effort early in life may train people to become more able to withstand higher levels of mental effort later. Uh, Now, they did caution that there might be, I mean, this is not, causation correlation, so they haven't quite studied all this. But, give yourself grace and patience when you're trying to learn a new skill. And, it's good for us to look, I will never win a Sudoku puzzle, but that doesn't mean I should not try to learn something new every day or do something a little bit, that will challenge me. So, my advice, not being a doctorologist, do something that challenges your brain once a day. It'll be good for you. In well, I'm not fired, you're fired. In this horrifying case, a fired worker uh, mowed down his boss with an SUV and tried to unalive others before a neighbor took him out with a long style force multiplier, a boomstick, if you will. A Las Vegas man was fired last week and then tried to exact street vengeance against his former employer. Things did not end well. In a quick, brutal twist of fate, the fired man is now, well, no longer living. His one time boss is recuperating in the hospital, and a third man drawn into the dispute has become an unwilling unaliver, according to police. A great deal of the melee was caught on camera. The incident began at a site of a home remodel on Dover Place near Quarry Place and Charleston Road in the Valley area of Sin City. At around 6:30 p.m., police responded to reports of a man in an SUV trying to run over a pedestrian, according to Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Homicide Lieutenant Jason Johansson. Several other 911 calls about the SUV driver trying to mow a man down were fielded by dispatchers as officers were en route, the police said. The pedestrian was in charge of the construction project, and the SUV driver had been fired earlier that day after he arrived to the job site, quote, in a condition where he was not fitted to do his job, end quote. Johansson said during the press briefing. After that, a verbal altercation ensued, and then the fired man got into his vehicle, setting sights on his since former boss. Before officers could even arrive, however, another 911 call came in. The man driving the SUV had passed away from the bystander coming in with his boomstick. The dark-colored SUV was discovered by law enforcement idling on the sidewalk, having crashed into a fence at the intersection of Quarry Place and Dover Place, according to the police. Inside was the driver, clearly no longer alive. An investigation into the hectic action film-like violence relied on testimony of several witnesses at the scene and was buoyed by home surveillance footage, according to law enforcement. Two people were hit by the SUV as it wildly careened through the streets and into the sidewalks that night. One person suffered only minor injuries. The driver's former boss, however, suffered major injuries, according to Johansson. None of the injuries were caused by the SUV driver, were life-threatening, though. So he is, going to be injured for a long time. It's probably going to be a terribly long recovery, but he is going to survive, that they know of right now. Steve Bowman, who lives on the street where the driver was apparently trying to wreak havoc, suffered a laceration to his left leg caused by debris being knocked down a wall, he told Las Vegas-based CBS affiliate KLAS, but the neighbor said he almost lost his life. I heard someone say he's coming back and I couldn't move, Bowman told KLAS. He didn't care who he was coming after. Footage obtained by the TV station shows the SUV driver reversing and striking the targeted man. The construction boss then falls and is knocked into an adjacent wall by the SUV. Video also shows Bowman at one point jumping over a wall to avoid the errant SUV. The aftermath of the incident, marked by property destruction, suggests that the SUV driver drove through 3 yards and several walls and fences in pursuit of the man that fired him. Additional footage obtained by both KLAS and Las Vegas-based ABC affiliate KTNV shows how the attack ended. A man raised his long-form force multiplier and put 3 freedom dispersal rounds out into the path of the oncoming SUV as the vehicle plowed through a white fence. In comments to KLAS, neighbor Anna Tilley said her 27-year-old grandson was that person. He was hollering at him, "Stop, stop," and the guy wouldn't stop, Tilley told KLAS. I said, "Throw me the force multiplier." No, he raised it, and I saw him and I thought, oh my God, he's just going to raise that, but he raised it and the guy kept coming toward him. The shooter was later taken into custody and was cooperative, police said. According to Tilley, her grandson was released the next morning. The names of the deceased and his ex-boss are not yet public. Long Crime did reach out to the Las Vegas police with several requests for additional details on the story, but they are doing an ongoing investigation, so I doubt that they will be forthcoming with any more information. That being said, I do feel sorry for the family of the man that lost his life. A lot of times I think we maybe forget, or it's easy to forget in feeling really, maybe empathy and sympathy for the victim, that even these defendants, a lot of them have good families who tried their best and their relatives unfortunately just choose wrong. And I'm sure that regardless of how they lost their loved one, they are hurting right now. And it's hard when your loved one did something pretty not very smart and put themselves in a position, and it's a hard thing to grieve. So my thoughts go out to them. In our final story for these Newsy News Nuggets, a little bit of Olympics, a little bit of Romanian shade, apparently. The Romanian PM is going to boycott the Olympics closing ceremony after quote-unquote scandalous situation in gymnastics ruling. I had not heard about this story, so let's learn about it together. Romania's Prime Minister, Marcel Ciucel, okay, he's Romanian. It's something Romanian. Said on Tuesday that he will boycott the Paris Olympics closing ceremony due to the scandalous situation that cost Romanian gymnast a bronze medal. Anna Barbosu had already begun celebrating her bronze for the floor event Monday when coaches for American Jordan Chiles entered an appeal to the judges over Chiles's score. The inquiry resulted in a zero point 0.1 boost for Childs, enough to take over Barbosu for the last spot on the Olympic podium. Quote, I will not attend the closing ceremony of the Paris Olympics following the scandalous situation in gymnastics where our athletes were treated in an absolutely dishonorable manner. The Prime Minister said on a Facebook post, to withdraw a medal earned for honest work on the basis of an appeal, it's totally unacceptable. The Prime Minister promised Romania would honor Barbosu and fifth place finisher Sabrina Mencia Voilina, also Romanian, as Olympic medalist, including in terms of prizes. You have with you an entire nation for which your work tears are more precious than any medal, no matter what precious metal they form, the Prime Minister said. Barbusu was standing on the floor holding a Romanian flag when she looked up and saw the scoring change on the video board. She dropped the flag in shock and brought her hands to her face and walked off in tears. Inquiries are a standard part of gymnastics competitions, with athletes or coaches asking judges to review a routine to ensure elements are rated properly. Scores can be adjusted up or down based on an inquiry. The revised scoring of Child's performance also nudged Mencia Voyina down to fifth place. Romania was a longtime superpower in gymnastics, but this was the program's first return to the Olympics after a 12-year break. Romanian gymnast great Nadia Comaneci also lashed out after the event, writing on X, I can't believe we play with athletes' mental health and emotions like this. The Prime Minister said that viewers worldwide were literally shocked by this terrible scene, and it highlights that somewhere in the system of organizing this competition, something is wrong. I do feel very bad. I couldn't imagine how absolutely devastating and heartbreaking that would be, to think you had won, that your life, life's work, you had achieved it, only to have missed out by a tenth of a point. Hopefully there's greater clarification, because I will fully admit, y'all, I know less than nothing about sports. So I don't understand the intricacy. And I've watched Stick It, which, I think cousin movie to Bring It On. I don't know how gymnastically accurate that is, but there are a lot of kind of arbitrary rules that think if you are not, very plugged into the sport, you don't get. So this would look completely unfair to me as an outsider looking in. Again, if you know in the comments if this is normal, like it says in the article, please let me know. Speaking of comments, please like, subscribe, and share. And, feel free to ask me anything. I will see you guys tonight at Nightly Newsy News at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, for now, until we change from not daylight time. But I will see you guys then. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, be kind to yourself, and be kind to others. Bye, guys.